Doping is the act of using illegal performance-enhancing drugs to gain a significant advantage over one's competitors. Doping in athletics has been in the news recently as the World Anti-Doping Agency found evidence that Russia had been running a state-sponsored doping program during the 2012 Olympic Games. The World Anti-Doping Agency has been accused by the New York Times of being incapable, unwilling, and ineffective when it comes to dealing with doping offences, especially by famous athletes. The game that I have created is a simultaneous normal form game between two athletes who are going to race each other. Both athletes are rational, and they have two possible actions. They can either dope or stay clean. The likelihood that the athlete will be caught if they dope is fairly small, because the development of new drugs is almost always more advanced than the testing infrastructure of the World Anti-Doping Agency, leaving the athletes with the shown payoff matrix. If both players stay clean, they both receive the payoff of 5 through their hard work and training. They both have an equal chance of winning. If both athletes dope, they receive the payoff of 3, as the risk of getting caught reduces their overall utility. If one athlete decided not to dope, the other athlete would almost certainly win, leaving the athlete who doped with a payoff of 7, while the athlete who stayed clean would receive a payoff of 0. This takes into account the probability that they will be caught. Athlete 1 will use performance-enhancing drugs when athlete 2 does not, as his certainty of winning means that he has a payoff of 7, taking into account the risk of getting caught. This is still better than having a 50% chance of winning, but with no risk of getting caught, which would only give him a payoff of 5. Furthermore, if athlete 2 also decides to dope, athlete 1 should still dope, as otherwise he will receive a payoff of 0 and have no chance of winning. Therefore, athlete 1 has a strictly dominant action, which is to dope. Athlete 2 is rational and knows that athlete 1 will dope. Therefore, athlete 2 will also dope, as he faces the same payoff matrix as athlete 1. Overall, the Nash equilibrium is for both athletes to dope, even though they would both be better off if they both stayed clean, as the chance of winning would be the same, but they would no longer face the risk of getting caught and banned for a few years. This is because neither athlete can trust the other to stay clean, and therefore they both have to dope. In this game, we learn that to reduce the number of doping cases in athletics, the World Anti-Doping Agency needs to improve their testing system and make it less easy for athletes to get away with doping, as well as increasing punishments for convicted drug cheats. Both of these steps will help to increase the risk associated with doping and in turn reduce the payoff value for athletes who choose to dope. When the risk of doping outweighs the reward, rational athletes will no longer choose to dope.